2025 credit repair hacks nobody is talking about. I am exposing 25 of the top credit repair secrets in 2025. My name is credit coach Nicole Scott. We are at video number 13 out of this 25-part series. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about arbitration. This is the cheap alternative to suing the credit bureaus or suing a collection agency. So if you aren't having luck and you're like, I've got to sue these folks, this is a great alternative. It's a lot less expensive. It's a lot faster, and you still get the results that you desire. So we're going to be covering all of that. But before we get started, I need a favor from you. I need you to go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and give me a huge thumbs up. If you want access to this guide, comment the word guide and I will send you access so you can get it. And if you are a part of the credit community, which is, I highly recommend everyone join the community because you're going to get access to everything, digital products, replays. You're going to have access to so much. And we are continuing to have live calls, so you don't want to miss out on this because this is where you're going to save a lot of time and money by learning before you start earning, guys. And I'm telling you, it's jam-packed. But besides that, okay, back to the arbitration. So the American Arbitration Association is a nonprofit association that is going to be the middleman in these cases. And you can file an arbitration case right on their website. There is a fee. Most consumer cases are going to be around $225 to file. And of course, I've left all of the links inside of this guide for you. So everything is going to be easily accessible and you don't have to take a bunch of screenshots and do all that stuff, right? If you are looking for the rules, I've got that outlined for you. Now, what you need to do when you are making a demand, because there's a million ways to do things, but you kind of want to streamline it and just make it simple. So you need to complete the demand for arbitration and make at least 4 copies to make sure that everyone has a copy and you have a copy for your records. You never want to send anything original. And how you make that demand, there's a number of ways to do that. You can draft it. I've got a sample that I've left for you guys, and there's a few samples that they have that are forms from their websites, whether it's Experian or the AAA. So you want to make 4 copies of your demand. Okay, what's a demand? What are you looking for? What resolution? What's the problem? And what resolution are you looking for? Now, the problem is they have crap on my credit report, and the resolution is I want that crap deleted, plus I want, some compensation for it, for the damages that it caused me. Now, damages are different than what the violation is, okay? So if the consumer reporting agencies or the collection agency, they violated the law and you have proof of that, you would just need to find out what the maximum violation is for that law. In most cases, it's usually like $1,000 or so, right? So you've got the violation, that's $1,000, plus you've got damages. Now, how much are damages? Only you can really say, but in these type of cases, it's best to kind of keep it under $10,000 or so, because ultimately the goal is for you to be able to resolve this case before it even goes and gets to the arbitration table and you have that live arbitration, because most of the time they're looking to resolve the problem. So if you're only asking for $10,000, $7,000, $5,000, whatever the violation plus damages are, then hey, that's fine. They can usually settle that. Plus the part of the agreement would be to delete that data from the credit report. Now, you're going to want to make sure that you mail a copy, certified mail return receipt to the credit bureaus. And then, of course, you want to file a copy with the AAA. When you file with the AAA, you also have to file your fees. So just be prepared for that. So what I tell people to do is file a pre-arbitration demand letter to the credit bureaus. And what this is telling them is this is your final chance to comply with the law. And this is my demand. And this is what I'm asking. If you do not comply, I'm going to add additional damages of $5,000 for my time and blah, blah, blah. And if you don't want to do that, then I suggest that you pay me, the violations plus remove the trade line, whatever you are asking for, right? But you can help draft that letter just inside of ChatGPT, good old AI. It doesn't need to be anything fancy, but it does need to be specific on what the account is, what the account number is, what the account name is, and how much of of, compensation are you looking for either their violation or for the damages or both, whatever the case may be, right? And of course, that's going to be like the last resort. Next step is going to be arbitration. The pre-arbitration is like, hey, last chance. Are you sure you want to take it to arbitration? Here are the contacts because, I'm going to tell you like this. These addresses are different. You're not going to see these addresses, really posted on their websites like, hey, if you have a last resort issue and you're not getting the credit repair results that you need, send us a pre-arbitration request at this address and we'll just correct it for you. No one's talking about this. No one's going to tell you this. I give you the information that you need to know, not what you want to hear, because if you knew better, you would do better, and anybody can do this. A lot of people get intimidated because it's something new. They've never done it. They're scared. They don't want to make a mistake. You're not going to make a mistake. They're the middleman, which is the AAA. They are there to assist and be a neutral party that gets results, and they are advocates for consumers as well. So they want to help. Experian has noted inside of a lot of their arbitration, blah, 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 that they want to resolve this. Okay. So they've actually left an email address, and it says right here, most of the time that you have a concern about our service, that concern can be resolved quickly and to your satisfaction by contacting our customer service department at Experian Connect support@experian.com. Email them. Okay, you can also email them a copy of your demand along with sending it certified mail return receipt. And again, don't be afraid to get the CFPB involved as well, because that's just additional backup that you're getting here. Because ultimately you want that account just deleted or that item deleted. And if they did violate, you want compensation for that and damages for that. So if you are still not satisfied with the result that they're giving you, especially like with Experian, I have a couple email addresses down here, one for Experian and one for Equifax. Okay. TransUnion, I could not find an email address for them. They don't want to give out much information. However, there is another address that they have that is for their general counsel or their law items. Okay. And that's this Chicago, Illinois. So these addresses, if you don't do anything else, screenshot this, because these are the addresses that you're going to need to send the arbitration, pre-arbitration demand, and then the arbitration demand, and of course notice of dispute. You're going to need to send those items to these addresses. And I have a arbitration sample that you guys can use. If you get the guide, it's in here. I've linked it in here so you guys can just get a sample of it. It's very simple. And of course, you're just asking for damages of $5,000. And that can be, you put in whatever you want, right? Whatever is going to be best fit for your situation, I always say, because every situation is different, unfortunately. So these are the addresses that you want to send. I would also just make a copy, get it in via email. You can always upload it as well to Experian.com/upload. So you're emailing, upload, mailing. So you verified that they in fact have it. And then of course, they'll probably be reaching out to you to see if they can resolve this. If you don't like what they're talking about, go ahead and say, look, I'm actually going to be moving forward with arbitration unless you send me a check. Now, why is arbitration better than going to, say, state or federal? Well, it's a lot less expensive because the filing fees are only $225 for most consumer-related situations. If you're filing at a state level or a federal level, those filing fees are going to be a lot more. I'm in California, and I want to say the filing fee here, it was almost close to $400 when I had filed something against someone. So it can be quite costly, and that's why this is a great alternative, because people are still getting paid and it's a lot less expensive. And a lot of times they don't want no smoke, right? This is just a drop in the bucket for them. $10,000, $5,000, that's a drop in the bucket for them. So if they can settle for that, they're totally all for that. And the great thing is, once you learn this process, not only can you do it for yourself, but you can do it for your clients. You will have to have a limited power of attorney, or if you are an attorney, of course. By the way, I'm not a licensed attorney. I don't give legal advice. This information is for educational and informational purposes only, because my whole thing is, if you knew better, you could can do better. And this is a great way to get the results that you need without having to fuck around with these goddamn people, because they like to take forever and send you all sorts of stall tactic letters. Next thing you know, it's been 6 months and they still haven't done anything. So take their butts to arbitration. Get those pre-arbitration letters ready by 60 days. If they're still playing around with you and they still got that crap on your credit report, it doesn't matter what it is. If it's a bankruptcy, an inquiry, an account, doesn't matter what it is. You can go through arbitration and get that crap removed. Doesn't matter if it belongs to you or if it doesn't. If there's errors, if it's inconsistent, if it's flat out reporting weird stuff like late payments from a collection account or late payments on a charged off account, it's, there's all of these details that we can pay attention to and say, no, that is a violation. That is an error, this, that, and the other. There you go. Okay. You have to just document your process and document your case. I'm going to show you guys something, and you might laugh at me, but that's okay. But this is my credit repair binder. Okay. I documented everything, but that's also why I got the results that I did, because I had the proof and I would send it to them and say, look, this is what I've sent you so far. You've done nothing about it, and I'm going to sue you if you don't comply with the law. And a lot of times that works. That's why I tell people use that pre-arbitration letter. And then if they still don't comply, you can actually go through arbitration, pay the filing fees and all that good stuff. Now, here's the thing. There's a bunch of different resources right here that I've pinned in here for you guys, but a lot of it has to do with Experian. So Experian is probably the credit bureau that has the most information on their website in regards to the arbitration. For whatever reason, TransUnion and Equifax, they don't have a ton of information out there besides, if you want to send us something to our law department, send it to this address. They don't really want to advertise this type of information. And honestly, I haven't been able to find anyone who wants to share this type of information, especially the addresses that you need to use or the email addresses that you would need to use in order to even start the arbitration process or the pre-arbitration process. And I'm seeing people left and right that get checks and that are paying thousands of dollars to join these mentorship programs that teach this kind of stuff, when here I am giving it to you for free, but you don't want to take the time to learn it. Man, stop it. It's 2025. Get it together. If you want fast results, you got to learn these type of methods. There's no reason why you should be waiting 6 months, 12 months. Not everyone can do this stuff for you. Okay. This is best learning it yourself and then applying it so you can get faster results. And that's why I recommend joining the credit community, because we get live calls multiple times a month. You get support. You can ask questions. It's a great place to be if you really are serious about learning, starting a credit repair business, building credit, building business credit, anything credit related. We talk about that stuff. And there are tons of masterclasses inside of there, but enough about that. So if you just read through this information, you will see exactly what they're asking you to do. And you do not have to have a lawyer when you're going through arbitration, because the AAA is going to act as that middleman. And the only thing that I would say that you really want is to have your case kind of laid out and why, you are asking for these damages and what types of violations that they've caused. So you have to understand, you can't just go there and say, oh, this is wrong, this is wrong. You have to kind of build your case, all right? Document the violations that they have made and then go through the process of arbitration. And a lot of times, like I said, they're going to want to settle with you before it even gets to that point. But there's a ton of great information in here. This is the notice of dispute that Experian has, and you can see how simple this is. All right. And this is on Experian's website. And again, I've pinned all of this stuff inside of the guide for you guys. So that way you have everything in one location and you can check all of this out, because basically, you can use my sample arbitration request. You can use one of theirs. The AAA even has a sample of an arbitration. You can go to their website and check out theirs. I'll bring it up for you guys here. This is the consumer demand for arbitration from the American Arbitration Association. So this is essentially the form that you're going to need to fill out to start the arbitration, and briefly just explain what the situation is, all of that good stuff. And then at the very bottom here, you can see if you can qualify for waiving those filing fees. So if you are in California or you are in New Jersey or even some of the other states, you can actually reach out to the AAA and ask them, you know, if you can apply to waive the filing fees because you're low income, or, you know, if you qualify, whatever the case may be. But if you just check out their website here under the forms, fees, and you go to their fees section, it'll tell you if you contact them, you can get like a estimate on the fees, and they can potentially help you apply for a waiver if you qualify. So that is all that I'm gonna kind of go over in regards to that, guys. But this is super powerful information, because who else is teaching you how to do arbitration? And with AI, you don't need to even be a law expert. Let AI do all of the talking for you. Go over to ChatGPT, tell ChatGPT, create me a pre-arbitration letter for Experian or TransUnion or whatever, or create me a notice of dispute that will be good for Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, and, you know, also include all of the, you know, stipulations from the AAA. And, you know, you can really get deep with AI and giving it instructions on what to do. It's pretty amazing, and it spits it right out there for you, so it takes the guesswork out of it. And I mean, you can get this done in 15 minutes if you really wanted to. It's quick, fast, and easy. Probably shorter time than I'm over here talking your ear off. But hey, I appreciate you watching. If you haven't watched all of the other videos inside of the 25-part credit repair secrets playlist, please do so. I've left the link below. Most importantly, subscribe to the channel. Give me a huge thumbs up. If you enjoyed the video, comment below. Let me know. I will see you next time. Take care.